Good evening, everyone. Today I'm with
Gael Morrison.
and you're with Tenshinoken, as usual. And welcome to my podcast called Film de ton Time. It's a podcast made by me just to talk about, usual subjects, but that we never talk about. So today we'll talk about perfectionism in art.
Okay.
So, what does it tell you when you hear perfectionism in art, especially?
When I hear perfectionism in art, I feel like all artists are somehow a perfectionist. Because I feel like usually the process is you envision this idea in your mind, and your art is the process of bringing it into the world somehow. And I don't know, I feel like for me, I do photography, and perfectionism is kind of inescapable sometimes, because it's no matter what I do, no matter what I make, it's I feel like you can always do something a little bit more, a little bit better. And I was thinking about this week actually. It's I become bored very easily of my own work, and I want to do something totally different. And I think it's kind of a shame, because I kind of lose appreciation for my own creativity, I guess.
Yeah. And it's quite difficult, especially in photography, right? Because you have to whatever material you should.
I should.
Okay, so especially in photography, because every shot you take, you have to choose one to post, or it's not like drawing when you only do one thing and you just use it. In photography, you have to choose between different spots. So how do you do that?
Yeah, I mean, when I do shoots, especially on digital, I'll go to a party or a concert and shoot maybe 500, 800, 1,000 photos. And then the whole editing process, half of my style of photography and half of, I guess, what I think makes me a good photographer is just my ability to choose between the photos I take. Because it's I take so many really shitty photos that no one ever sees.
So how do you choose, how do you choose the right one?
I guess it's kind of just a gut feeling, you just kind of know.
Oh, okay.
You see the photo and, I don't know, I feel after you work so long with the rules of composition, and I don't know, there's a bunch of different things that you can use to figure it out. But sometimes you just, thank you very much.
No worries.
Sometimes you just see a moment, and you just know. I guess it just becomes part of your, what's the word I'm looking for? It's automatic almost.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Your brain just knows.
I kind of understand, because I got the same, I don't know, inner taste that tell me which drawing I do is the right one. But there's always that little voice in my head that tells me, no, you could have done better, in your process. So how do you just remove that voice, to choose one that is going to be the one? Because something is going to tell you, oh, this one might have been better. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
My first instinct is that you really shouldn't remove that voice.
Yeah.
Because that voice telling you that you can do better is the same voice that drives you to improve,
Yeah.
If you're just content with making the same thing over and over again, you'll never venture off into something else. But I don't think it's worth listening to that voice all of the time. Yeah. I think it's worth having in your mind, but I think it's also worth having many other voices saying many really different things.
That's schizophrenic shit.
Some schizophrenic shit, exactly. I think it's good to tell yourself that even though you know your work isn't perfect, because no piece of art is perfect.
It's true.
I think it's important to know when something is good enough.
Yeah.
When something I don't know, because the idea of perfection in art is like, how can any piece of art be perfect? It's so subjective, right?
That's true.
Like, sure, maybe you think that something's not good enough,
Mm.
but your perception of good is subjective to only you. So I think a better question to ask yourself is like, is this piece effective? Like, does it say what I want it to say? Because all works of art are trying to like communicate something. So I think it's maybe good to shift the question away from, is this piece perfect? Is this piece good enough? Just because if something's good or not, it's such a subjective question, there's no objectively right answer. I think the more useful and effective thing to ask yourself is this piece saying what I want it to say?
Yeah.
Do I evoke the emotional response that I want to?
And how do you tell stories like throughout your photography? Like, how do you just express yourself throughout the photo?
How do I express myself?
Yeah, just
I think that's a good question, and I think about this sometimes because with photography, it's almost impersonal in a way, because the stuff that I'm shooting is like the stuff in my environment and the things around me, in the same streets that anyone could walk by and take the same photos and whatever. Like if you write a poem or you draw a painting or something, like I feel like no one else can make that one thing, but with photography it's like the world is there for everyone and you just have to be in the right place at the right time to take the photo. But I think for me that is what makes it personal to me. It's like all the photos I've ever taken, even if some photo of a tree or a mountain has nothing to do with me in particular, of the content itself. Like the mountain I walk on to take a photo of, it doesn't really care about me as a person. I guess maybe it does, but what makes it personal to me is the fact that I was there and I took it. And I guess building off of what we were talking about earlier, the fact that I chose this to like be in my book or be a print or like be on Instagram or whatever. I think the thing that makes photography personal and the thing that maybe even makes it art is that like anyone could have been there to take that same photo, but no one else was there but you. Like you are the person who captured this piece of the world at this any given time. And so for me, the photos I take and the ways that I lay them out, like if I make a zine, for example, or a book, like it's kind of sequenced in a way to where you visually dive into the story of like where I've been. And I feel like you can kind of tell something about a person based on where they've been and also what they look at, because photography is showing what is important to you that's outside of you, I guess. Like you choose to take a picture of the thing that intrigues you somehow. So I think that says something about a person.
Okay, let's say that two persons just take a picture of one particular moment at the same time. Like what will differentiate them?
I mean, this is something that happens in real life all the time, because I shoot lots of events where there's lots of photographers there. But the interesting thing is that like everyone's photos somehow end up looking different, and it just comes back down to this like, I guess everyone first of all has a different creative intuition. Everyone points their camera in a different direction. Everyone uses different exposure settings and different cameras, but even beyond that, it's like, I think it just comes down to the thing of like, everyone in any given moment is paying attention to something else. And even if you're at like a sporting event or something, I think that if you're shooting like photography as an art and not photojournalism, because photojournalism is a lot more standardized, but I think if you're shooting in order to express yourself, I think it naturally comes through that one individual person. And also like, I don't know, the way that the photos are edited, like everyone has a style that for me is just kind of something you feel. I don't know, I feel like it's the same with all art. Like it's on some level you can't intellectually break it down anymore, it's just a feeling.
You edit yourself, like the picture you take. Also, you have the skill to take the picture.
Yeah, I think especially with digital photography, editing is half of the piece. Like the camera, the photos that come straight out of my digital camera are completely different from the ones that end up published.
I will make an episode about money and art, just how to monetize your pieces. Let's not get like deep into that, but do you get to take pictures in order to people to like order your pieces, like to give you money for what you do, or just do you do it for fun for yourself and just express yourself?
If my photography were a business, it would be a really terrible business.
Alright.
Because I don't make money off of my stuff.
Okay. What have you seen?
Yeah. So for example, I guess I'll get into the scene a little bit. I've been shooting photography for around, I guess, 2.5 years now. And at the beginning of this year, I decided to make a zine because my friend Isaac, who'd gotten me into photography, he made a zine a year before I did, and that I liked.
This is cool.
And
This is a dream.
I threw an event with my friend Isaac at our skate shop that we both used to work at together, and it was a great time. I made 100 copies and sold most of them, and so I guess in terms of that project itself, it was profitable because I bought the zines for they cost €7 or $7 to print each, and I sold them for 20. It was just like the coolest thing I'd ever seen in my life, and I was like, if I can make one of these, my life will be complete. And so in December of 2022, I kind of set out, started designing. Took me 6 months to compile everything. It was photos over like the last 2 years of me shooting. And then over the summer of 2023, in July, I finally had this like complete 60-page scene of just all my photos.
That's enough.
But I wouldn't say that I'm like shooting as a business or shooting in order to make money. Because the reason I sold the zine is so that it wouldn't be devalued. I think there's a big issue with people devaluing their art in the art world. And also, like psychologically, if you give someone something for free, unless it's like a very personal gift, I think people value it less than something that they pay money for. I don't know. Like I would sell my zine for $10. I would sell it for $5. It's not, the number isn't really a big deal to me. The reason I made it is just because I want my stuff to be out there, you know? Like I want it to be in the hands of someone. Because posting stuff on Instagram feels very impersonal to me.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. There's something about like having a book that you can hold and just be like, I made this. Like it's tangible.
Look at behind you.
That's so sweet.
I made this and I'm super proud of it, you know. And I totally understand.
That's awesome, man.
But
That's so sweet.
I made this and I'm super proud of it, you know. And I totally understand.
That's awesome, man.
But talking about it, like, I know, like, for a lot of people, they want to just start exposing their art.
Yeah.
And the only way they can do it is just through Instagram, just creating accounts and just like hope some friend will just subscribe to the account.
Yeah.
So they'll get some subscribers and just eventually get known. But like, what would you do just to launch yourself? Because you know you want to do something.
Yeah. I don't think that Instagram is a bad way to spread art. I think it's a really good way to get yourself in front of people.
Yeah.
But my issue with it is that I don't want it to be the final destination for my art. If it points people in the direction of the things that I make, I think that's really cool. But I don't want to be making stuff just for it to end up on Instagram or just for people to scroll past it. Like, there's something about physical material that feels so much more tangible and real, I guess. Especially prints. Like, I love giving prints to my friends.
For free? Or just,
For free. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes people buy prints from me. But, I don't know. Back to the business thing, like, I monetize my work sometimes, but I don't work to be monetized, I guess. I mean, I think it would be really amazing if I could, like, live off of photography and just be a photographer.
Okay.
I don't know if this is ever going to be attainable for me.
I hope.
I don't know. But the way that most photographers make money is by, like, shooting, like, weddings and parties and stuff like that.
They don't make money selling their art. Maybe to companies. Yeah. They do sales for companies, but it's not really.
I mean, if you're like a staff photographer for like a magazine, then I guess
it's cool.
I think that would be like my ideal job, I guess.
Les French they say il y a pas de sous-métier. Like, it means there's no like bad jobs. So would you like, because you go to science school,
right?
Would you see like the job photographer as a bad job, like knowing that you could have been like, I don't know, some politics, some big like, person in the economy, like would you think that the photograph job is like devalued?
In my opinion,
Okay, guys, we're gonna stop there. It's been 15 minutes already, and I think I don't have your attention anymore. So I guarantee you another episode, like a part 2, with some animated drawings made by me. I know it will take some time. Thank you for watching this episode. Like, it's my first time doing this. I'm so happy achieving one of my biggest dreams, and I hope that I will get as far as possible in this quest. Thank you, guys. Don't forget to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video, and see you next time. Bye bye, Gael.
peace out. I don't know what camera to look at, but have a good rest of your day wherever you are. Go make art.
Go make art. Woo! Thank you. That was actually, I wondered for how much time.